people going. Looking.
Evening. Welcome to the Raven and Kaligoddess show. I'm Raven and she's that way. Kaligoddess.
I'm Kali.
Good evening.
Welcome, everyone.
On this show, this is our introduction show, so we would like to do some interviews for you to get to know both Kaligoddess and I. And I guess Kali is going to start it off. We would like to ask the audience to please participate, ask questions.
Yes. So, Raven, how did you get your name?
Oh, wow. Well, Father Fitz gave me that name. My other medicine teachers, they called me by different names, but actually Father Fitz gave me that name. I was actually born with a lazy eye, and what they say is that the crow sees with one eye crossed because the crow sees past, present, and future at the same time. So for a long time, I was a crow, but now I grew up to be a raven.
Beautiful. I love that. What a great symbol. It's very similar, actually, to the energy of Kaligoddess, I think, like a trickster type fierceness, but, you know, a divine, fierce energy. So yeah. I know about you that you have come from a medicine family and you were taught by your grandmother. So can you tell me a little bit more about who your grandmother was? What was she like, and what did she pass on to you that you hold dear?
Oh, she passed on so much that I hold dear, but let me just say, my grandmother, the medicine comes down in our family, grandmother to granddaughter. So my grandmother passed the medicine down to me. She would tell me stories of I guess she's my great-great-grandmother or her grandmother, the things that she did. She did herbal medicine. She also did laying of hands, healing. And she has she had a few documented healings. My grandmother told me that there was a room in the church, and that room was for crutches and wheelchairs and things like that those people did not need after seeing my great-great-grandmother. My grandmother herself had healing, and she told me that I had to find my way. But what she did was she would lay her hands on somebody and she would imagine God's hands on hers. And she also told me that if I thought that the medicine was mine, that God, source, whomever would take it away because it was not mine. It was from source. So, but, you know, as we all grow up with a little bit of dysfunction in the family, the sad part is I think I'm the only one in the family that ever listened to her stories or even was interested in any of it. So apparently I'm the only one who carried on the tradition. Nobody else believes it. Everybody says, oh, it's just superstition and that wasn't true. But that's okay. We all know the truth. So so that's what it was. And I did some hands-on healing touch growing up. I was taught that, I had to find my own way because I couldn't do it the way my great-grandmother did it and the way my grandmother did it. So I did. I found my own way, and that's how I got into Reiki.
I love it. That's great. What do you think she would share with us if she was here with us today?
Ooh, let me see. I think that she would say that we need to amp it up, because today in these times that humanity needs healing seriously, and that we need to amp it up and be there.
Hello, Foxton and James and Sam.
Hey, Tater. Heart you. Sam Blue. Heart you.
So I love what she said about it's not your hands. It's like the saying, you are a hollow bone as a healer.
Yes.
It
really is exactly nice. That. In my medicine teachings, that's what they taught me, is that we are a hollow bone for the energy.
Yeah. Well, what about, so you've studied under 3 different medicine men. Where did you find these men? And can you tell me a little bit about them? Did they find you? And how did that happen?
They say that when the student is ready, the teacher comes. So I guess I was ready, and they came into my life. Like the first one, that was Lakota. And the second one was Chippewa. And I was taught at Medicine Springs, which is a place in Alabama that's 200 acres of forest land. And all along Medicine Springs, there's different areas. There's crystals, there's medicine wheels, there's different sweat lodges, there's star wheels for the star people. And there was 7 tarpans. I don't know if you know what a tarpan is, but a tarpan was the original horse brought over to the United States, because we did not have horses. And so that was the original breed of horse that was brought over to the United States. At that time, there was only 200 left in the United States, and there were 7 of them at Medicine Springs. So I learned a lot from Red Wolf, and I learned a lot from Michael. Did sweat lodge ceremonies. And the other was Shoshone. And he taught me, he appeared in my life, and he was there for me. And I can't really mention his name because I was taught that once they die, only their family can mention their name. So you can't mention his name. But he's very dear to my heart and such a special human being. And I learned so much from all 3 of them.
What you learned from them, did you go and help other people, or did you do healing work on yourself, or both?
It was actually both. We actually need to heal ourselves, actually, before we can even think about helping others to heal. But they always used to tell me that what I was called was a wounded healer. I had a lot of tragedies happen throughout my life. And one of the reasons for the tragedies that happened was I cannot honestly work to help heal another person unless I have walked that path myself. And so I understand completely that part of those parts of the path that somebody else is walking, and am able to help as much as possible. And in healing others, we heal ourselves. We heal our ancestors,
Yeah.
and we heal future generations.
When you heal yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it so the both of us are hypnosis, aura hypnosis practitioners and raw Reiki practitioners. And when I started doing the aura hypnosis, I've seen this where I'm healing myself and then it's connected so intricately with other people, and it's like a chain reaction of healing. It's so beautiful. So I have some experience to be able to see that. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
That's so cool. Oh. Well, what about your day-to-day life? Do you have like any rituals or practices that you do to keep yourself feeling good on the path here?
I do a lot of grounding. I do some meditations. I surround myself within the light. And I feel like I'm constantly doing shadow work and working on myself to heal as much as possible. We have, now that we have the house, we have a nice garden, because your diet has so much to do with, healing, because you got to heal your body inside and outside, body, mind, and spirit. How long did they teach me? Gosh, I don't know. The one was for years, several years, and maybe Red Wolf and Michael taught me for about 1.5 years, 2 years.
Great. And then from there, where did you go?
I became a Reiki Master teacher. That kind of turned my family medicine from like 110 to 220. And the medicine that I had. Then basically I raised my children. I did have a tragedy and I walked off of my path. And I have been slowly for a few years coming back to it. And I feel like I am back on the red road and the blue road, balance within both.
Beautiful.
And in a new way.
Mm-hmm. We have another question. How did we connect? Do you want to answer that?
We connected through aura practitioners. I don't know, when I was going through aura practitioners, I saw Kali's profile and everything, and something spoke to me. And I feel like we connected. We have so many of the same modalities. And I just feel like we connected, and here we are.
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking about it this morning, and I wasn't taught by my grandmother, but I do remember when I was 10, she gave me a tarot deck with dragons on it, and that was a very early memory of starting on all of this. I was so young.
My grandmother used to read cards for people, but she would read with regular playing cards, no tarot. She would just a deck of cards.
Oh.
And
I am also doing this. I do it just for myself right now. It's called the Cards of Truth with Ernst Wilhelm. He does Vedic astrology. And so I've been studying under him for a few years, and I really like the card deck. It's just a 52 card playing deck, but he relates it to the astrology. it's really easy and approachable. It's beautiful. So
That's
yeah, we have
beautiful.
so many things in common, and
Yes.
it's really fun. We keep discovering we have more.
So how did you first start walking this path?
Well, okay, I remember as a little girl, I was 5, and I remember having this voice in my head saying, "You have to change the world. You're here to change the world." And of course, I don't know what that means. I was so young, but I always felt like I had to figure out what that meant. And so in high school, I became a activist because I thought that's how you change the world. And then I realized you can't do it outwardly. You have to go within. And so I started doing martial arts, and that was like a profoundly spiritual experience. My quantum martial arts master, she taught me a lot about Taoism, and when we were practicing, I learned how to meditate because the movement is very meditative. You have to be present, and when we spar, it's also like such an intense, maybe initiatory kind of experience. Your body goes into fight and flight mode, and you have to, I call it like walk through the fire. You have to get through it and just keep your hands up. So I moved to San Francisco with her to start a new dojo when I was 20. And then I found yoga, and that led me later to go on to India. And I have been studying the 3 sister sciences of India: Vedic studies, Vedic astrology, Ayurveda medicine, and yoga philosophy. So it really enriched my life, those travels. And I'm an artist just like you, Raven, and I feel like that is always enriching my spiritual life, and the imagination is crucial to keep that alive and using that throughout this healing journey.
Creativity.
So, yeah.
That's really beautiful. I would love to hear about
And
travels to India. And by the way, the Fox Den, I love you too. But I would love to hear a little bit
yeah.
about your travels to India.
Okay. I just want to shout out to Kaya. Thanks for joining us.
Sorry.
I went to India. It's all good. I just randomly I was dating someone who invited me to go to India, and I thought, well, my name is Kali. How could I not accept the invitation? So we went with a yoga class, and we were there for several weeks, and we traveled around, and we got to stay at ashrams, and we got to take yoga classes and meditation classes, and it was so beautiful. But the thing about it was the relationship that I was in, it wasn't going well. That part was a struggle, but it didn't matter to me that much, because being in India, I didn't know what to expect at all when I got there, but there was something about it that just hit my soul so deeply and profoundly. It was like I was having a deja vu experience the whole time I was there. And
Wow.
I later realized that was like a past life memory.
Yes.
So I came home, and I ended up meeting someone online who was in India, and I went back a couple of times, and I was in love, and I went to his village. And when I was there, it was it's a very small, remote village. And he has a huge family, and every single person in his family, I felt like I knew them from, I didn't know really about past lives as much then, but I think I had been in relationship with them in many past lives. They were my family. So it was
And
a
you
rich,
feel
profound journey. I've been there 3 times now, and yeah, hopefully I'll go back again.
such a beautiful experience. I grew up in New England, actually grew up in Rhode Island. There's a lot of paranormal in Rhode Island, and we have our history when we were in school and kids in New England. We got to learn about the witch trials and read books like The Crucible. So our history in my growing up, I grew up around pagans and witches and so forth. So that was a very acceptable thing for me. And as you can see by the Mother Maiden Crone, a lot of it rubbed off. So, but I haven't gone to India or anything like that, but that's so beautiful. And it's beautiful that you
and so since then,
in your past life that you recognize people.
Yeah, well, at the time I didn't know what I was feeling, or I didn't understand it. But since then, I've done the past life regression hypnosis, and I've been able to revisit those lifetimes, some of them at least, and kind of understand why I had experienced something so intense, and how to relate it to my life today. And I really think actually a lot of us who are interested in yoga here in the West have probably had a lot of past life or parallel lives there. And we're in a new time now where we can bring out this information and help, to heal it and to live closer with the earth. To me, that's a lot of it, is that I want to live in the rhythms of nature. And that's what Ayurveda teaches me, is that we're sick because we're far away from nature.
That's so true. I live in the city, not actually in the city, but kind of a little bit of the outskirts. We have a little bit of property, and we have some gardens and some trees, but it's not as secluded as yours. But I can still find ways to ground myself and to sit in nature and to be one with the Earth Mother. I think that's very important for us. We don't do that anymore, and I don't think that.
A way to connect.
Yes, no matter where you live.
No matter where you live, yeah, and you can. Yeah. I've studied shamanism for my own growth, and that has taught me how to speak to the elements and how to gain information from the birds and the trees. And so it's all around us all the time, no matter where you live.
Yes, absolutely. And, in our medicine work, we deal with the elements as well, and we speak to the elements. We call the rain, things like that. I could tell you a funny story, but I don't know. I know that I have
funny story.
Okay. Well, I used to teach dog training classes, and I had to do it outside, so, and this one day I really did not want to teach class that day. I just didn't. So I was sitting out on the front stoop of the house, and my ex came home and he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm calling the rain because I don't want to teach class tonight." And he's like, "You're just crazy," and he walked in the house. And as soon as he walked in the house, this big crash of thunder started, and it started raining, and he came back out and he goes, "You're a witch." And I said, "Well, you talk about it like it's a bad thing." So funny story. Maybe not. So we deal with the element. I mean, we know how to, you know, become, not to bond, to balance out within the elements.
Yeah. That reminds me, I wanted to mention that there's these fires going on in Hawaii, and maybe we can all pray to put out those fires with the water element.
Yes, and also not only that, we need to send some love and some healing and some light and some prayers to all the animals who are caught in those fires, and to the trees.
Yes.
And because I know people don't think about it, but you know, a tree is a living thing.
Mm-hmm. Our teacher, Rising Phoenix Aurora, talks about trees as being light beings, just like we are. And I just love that, because for years I've gone out and I touch a tree and I introduce myself, and I've gained a lot of wisdom from them. Mm-hmm. I think they're great. Sometimes it's, you know, it seems basic, but it's profound, like be grounded, or, you know, it takes time, or something. They'll tell me that type of advice.
My trees outside are protecting our property.
Yes, I was also asking my trees on my property to help protect me. Someone asked if my relationship with the guy in India is still happening, and I wanted to answer that. It's not. It was a crossing, unfortunately, but what I found really interesting about it was that after I came home and I was trying to go back, I ended up getting sick, and it was a great opportunity to heal myself. I worked with a Ayurvedic Oriental medicine person, and he guided my diet, but he also did Qigong energy work on me. And then I found that as soon as I got that healing work finished, I had to, I needed to stay home, and that this was my place to be. But what it was is it was a soul retrieval. I don't know if you know about soul retrieval. It's one of my favorite topics. I just was sleeping, and I had this dream of a golden retriever dog coming back to me, and I woke up, and I was like, I just had this feeling of being so much more full. Like I had a whole piece of me missing that came back that night in my sleep, or the time between sleeping and awakening. And so anyways, long story short, the opportunity to not go move to India for the rest of my life, it was an important healing opportunity. And I think a lot of us could benefit from soul retrieval, and you can get that happening for you in many different ways.
That's so beautiful.
Does that make sense, Raven?
Yes, yeah. Absolutely. It made so much sense. And that's, you know, some things that I wanted to say about our channel. We have this live show, but you may see on our channel different things. Like Callie has some things that she would want to put up, some guided meditations, and we want to put some shorts up. This channel, I know my goal, and I'm going to ask Callie her goal too, but I think it's about this kind of the same. I think that my goal is to, while I heal myself, and we have all been told so many things that have been programmed into our minds about different modalities and different things that aren't necessarily the truth. So one of my goals is to bring you different healing modalities, but bring you the truth about them, not the stereotypes, bring you the real truth to kind of debunk some things. And we also want to do some things with nutrition. It's all going to be about healing mind, body, and spirit. What do you think about that, Kali?
I really feel like we have the ability to heal ourselves. And so these contents that we're creating and the interviews that we'll be doing, I like to inspire people to do their work and heal themselves. And that happens holistically. Like you said, you wanted to bring in some stuff about the diet, and we're going to talk about hypnosis and Reiki and all sorts of modalities. Yeah, it's going to be very rich and multifaceted.
And I know that Kali has some really super neat ideas and videos to put on our channel, because I feel like our channel is one thing and then our show is another thing. So watch our channel and watch our show. So you never know what's going to go up there. It's not always going to be a live show, although we're going to do our live show every other week. There should be some other things that you might enjoy.
Yeah. I'm really excited about this author that we're going to be interviewing. And he wrote a book of travels through time. Is that correct?
Yes. It's the first in a series of books in this traveling through time, travel, and things like that. Yes.
He's really talking about being multi-dimensional beings potentially, right?
Right. Which we
He's
actually
talking about time
are.
as yeah.
Yeah. We actually are multi-dimensional human beings. We are also fractals of different, like I'm a fractal of Freya. Who are you a fractal of, Kali? Other than Kali.
Well, I definitely have divine mother, Kaligoddess. I've also found that, we have many different soul parts in our oversoul, and I'm still exploring them. But I've found this like beautiful fairy mother queen being. She has pointy ears and wings, and she's beautiful. So there's different aspects to that, and it's just, I love the aspect of self-discovery that I'm always finding. And I do shielding my own energy every morning and evening, and I just through that and other guided meditations, I'm always learning more and just being a seeker. I never stop learning. So
yeah, that's beautiful, and that's what we need to do, because I feel like when we have the confidence that we can't learn anymore, then we need to give it up, because we're not being real. I think that we're all on the path of healing. I think that humanity now needs, more than anything, needs healing, and we need to join together and heal ourselves, because we can heal ourselves. One very small example of that is if, like you cut your finger and that cut heals because we are self-healers. That's just a small example. We can heal ourselves.
I think we're built. Yeah, we just get in our own way a lot. So if we can learn how to get out of our own way, then it happens automatically. Somebody's asking about how many times. So.
Yeah, we plan to do our show every other Friday night at 8 o'clock. So it'll be in 2 weeks on a Friday night.
Yep. and it's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Sam is also asking if we are going to teach how to shield energies.
Absolutely. We can do that.
Yeah,
It's also nice. It's also nice to hear suggestions for shows from the audience, because if you give us some suggestions, then we know exactly what you want to do. And we really want to gear ourselves to helping you the best way we can, because as we help you, we help ourselves.
Yeah. And going back to the thing about how everybody is on a healing journey, I think the most important part of that might be to just start remembering who we are, and that we are divine essence. And to me, that's what yoga is about. Once I went to India and I studied it a little bit more in depth, I was realizing that really it's about the philosophy is the main part of yoga studies, and it's about learning what your soul essence is and how to get rid of the things that might be blocking it from being expressed in its like authentic way. And I really love that. And then if you add hypnosis, you can what we're doing is not just past life regression hypnosis, it's actually universal life regression. And so the idea is that you might be living multiple lifetimes in the past, present, and parallel. So it's, again, this multi-dimensional quantum theory of time, and it's profound. So through all of this, we can find out like who we are and remember as individuals, but also as a collective. And then that is so healing.
And we're also healing our trees of life as well, because we're finding that through all of the programming and all of the invertedness, that our trees of life are being compromised as well. So we're going in, and during the aura hypnosis and during the raw Reiki, we're working on the tree of life as well.
And to me, that means that this tree of life, it could be seen as like some old other teachings, like similar to Kabbalah. Is that right?
Kabbalah. Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
But also, it is like this image of a tree with the roots, and the roots connect to all these different lifetimes and our ancestors. And so when we're shielding this, it's creating an opportunity to shield ourselves throughout time and our ancestors as well.
Yes, that's
is that
very
a good
important.
Of it, just for people?
Yeah. Yes, yeah. Absolutely. As becoming more aware of it too. We do also on having some other aura practitioners and other raw Reiki practitioners on the show too, to tell about their experiences as well.
Yeah. And every time, as a practitioner, every time I do a session for someone else, I'm learning something new. So I'm looking forward to talking with other practitioners about what we're learning and the healing adventures that we're all going on with ourselves and our clients and each other.
Yeah, the last time I did an aura session with this young lady, I met a goddess. What was her? She was the Indian goddess that I told you about. What is her name? Oh, I have it here.
Oh, Kuan Yin?
Yes, Kuan Yin.
Were you talking about Kuan Yin?
Yes.
I think she's known to have like 1,000 arms because she's the goddess of compassion. So she's always able to reach out and extend her compassion.
I really enjoy doing the aura sessions. I feel like I time travel, and I feel like there's a message for me personally in every session. I learn something from every session.
Yeah.
So if you haven't,
it's so cool. And then also,
excuse me.
I was just gonna say that when you get a session with aura or raw Reiki or aura hypnosis, that part of the aftercare is to learn some shielding techniques. So we'll help you clean out your energy, and then how to maintain it with shielding.
Yes, there have been a couple of people that are actually in the audience that have had aura sessions, and I know the ones that I know, they really felt really good afterwards. So
yeah, and it can help you understand what your mission is. Any kind of question that you might have really can be a part of it. A physical ailment or like a life direction path kind of question. It's kind of a big umbrella.
mm-hmm. So, Callie, what other modalities do you do? I know I do a little bit of tarot. I am about to be certified in Akashic readings. What about you?
Currently, I'm only offering Reiki, raw Reiki, and aura hypnosis, but I'm still working on doing my astrology studies. So eventually, I'll be doing readings, and then the card readings, which we were talking about, the cards of truth, and some yoga. I'd like to offer yoga classes online eventually, and I might do some spirit animal retrieval. Thank you, Kaya. Yeah, I've learned some shamanism through the Michael Harner Institute of Shamanism. I have not done it as a modality to treat other people. I've just been using it for my own guidance for years and years now. I do like a shamanic trance, and then I meet my spirit guides, and they give me advice. And so I could also be divining information that way for other people here in the near future.
That's beautiful. So is there anything that the audience would like to see? Do you have any suggestions that you would like to see on our channel? Anything that interests you?
I also do raw Reiki sessions for pets and animals. I really enjoy doing that. If anyone needs that, or a clearing of your house, it goes really well with energy work to get your house energy cleaned up.
Yeah, I do that too. And when I'm grooming, I have to admit, sometimes when I have a dog on my table that might be, having some issues, sometimes I'll give it a little raw Reiki, and sometimes it calms down. Sometimes it works. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think our animals are so important. They need healing energy work as well. They need it just as much as we do.
Well, I think that oftentimes they get sick because they're taking on our issues, because they're empathic and they're more connected with nature, so they don't get sick as often. But I do find that, like, if you and your pet are going through a transition, it's really important for them to get a raw Reiki session, because you can communicate with them, like, Like with Kaya, I did a session for her cat when she moved, and I let her cat know that, you know, she's safe now in her new place, and that, you know, her owner was a little worried about her going out at night, but you know, after that, I think she really settled into her new space, and she was less afraid and anxious. And so that's my favorite time to do animals, when they're going through like a new phase.
And transition. Yeah, absolutely. So,
yeah, any more questions? Any more questions? Because we will be wrapping up pretty soon, but I love to hear from the audience. I know Gina said I should get a microphone. I will work on that. And some headphones. Yeah.
Gina is with the Fox Den. Gina did our graphics, the little logo, and she did our faces on fire. She did the fire stuff. She's
thank
awesome.
you. They have
She's
a
awesome.
live show that's inspired this. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Watch the Fox Den, but subscribe to Live with Raven and Kaligoddess.
Yeah.
So maybe we could wrap up the show. Up.
Yep. I was just going to mention that I'm eventually going to be putting this on Spotify in an audio version after we go live, so that it's available there as well.
Oh, thank you, Lynn. She said that the paint colors were soothing in our places.
I was going to ask you one last question. Are you working on any art right now?
I am at this moment I'm finishing up the Bowing Angel. She's a piece that I actually have been working on for about a year. She's got like over 500 pieces in her of glass. I'm doing a stained glass piece, and she's beautiful. I've got her to the point where I'm going to solder her and frame her up. And Sam Blue is going to be getting her, because I sold her before I even finished her. And then I have some things in the works, because Gina needs a little glass fox. So it's going to be a little challenge for me to see if I can make a glass fox. And Tater says it's nice to you, Kylie.
Oh, yes. Nice to meet you all. Longtime family friend. Oh, I'm so glad I met Raven. Every time we talk, we just could go on for hours.
I know. It's so nice. But, you know, Tater, you're more than a friend. You are family. But it is nice, because every time I get with Colleen, we just seem to be able to click and to talk about so many things. And I think that's why we decided to come and do this show together.
And we've been doing healing sessions on each other too. So that's great.
Yes. Yes. And Kali has found some stuff with my tree of life that was compromised. And ever since she found those things and we got those things cleared up, I have been doing so much better perceptively. So, because it's so easy to get compromised.
Yeah, it can happen a lot, but this happened right because you had seen another practitioner, and unfortunately it came from that session. So it's really important to trust who you work with for any kind of energy healing or all the healing modalities. You have to be really careful.
Yeah, don't just, I mean, honestly, use your discernment. Don't just trust anybody to go into your energy body. I had trusted this person because this person was a practitioner, and I assumed, since she was a part of our group, that it was okay. So I did not listen to my discernment at all. I paid no attention to it, which is totally not like me in any way. And apparently I got a little bit compromised there. And but it's not just from another person doing energy work on me. I mean, we can get compromised through so many different ways when we are, say, we're going through a very difficult time in our lives. That is easy for us to get compromised in that situation because we're not protecting ourselves, and our bodies just let that stuff in. And we're also
Yeah, and
compromised
when
in foods we eat and things like that. Go ahead.
I think so, it's just that, yeah, our society is very messy energetically. People don't know about how to keep their energy boundaries strong. They might not know that they're impeding on your boundaries. There's so many ways that it could happen. But especially when, like you said, like your energy or if you're going through a hard time and you're operating at a low frequency, like in sadness or fear or jealousy, those are really the times when you're the most vulnerable.
To be compromised. Yes, absolutely. So it's good to be using your discernment, protecting yourself whenever you leave your home. I know, like you, Kali, I protect myself in the morning. I protect myself in the evening. But there are times when during the day that I have to come into contact with different people that I know are compromised, and I immediately put my shields up and protect myself. And we need to do that.
I've recently learned too that I've learned that energies can come through the internet as well. If you have someone on the phone or on a video call, I always keep myself shielded because their energy can come through the technology as well. So I'm in the country and I don't have a lot of interaction with people day to day, but I do if I'm online, so things that we can think about.
Thank you, Lynn. So?
Yes. Oh. Thanks everyone for supporting us tonight. We're so excited about our new project here with the live show.
And we hope that you like and subscribe, and please share. And if you like what you see, keep track on the channel. We have some really neat things coming up. We have a whole variety of things coming up. It's from one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum, and we're going to look at it all and see if we can't debunk some stuff and see if we can't come out with some truths.
Yeah, and I want to hear other people's stories about how they healed from a variety of illnesses. How do you transform your life and really get on that positive path? So, yeah, we're going to bring in those people and those stories to inspire your journey.
Absolutely. So our next
we are on Instagram. And so Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube right now, right?
Yes.
And then we'll be on Spotify soon. And when is our next one?
Our next one is in 2 weeks, and we will have Cinnamon Moon on there. And she's the author of A Medicine Woman Speaks. She's also my blood sister. Had to put that in there. But she also has spiritlodge.com, where she does a lot of teaching. She's awesome. I can't wait for all of you to meet her. She had a radio show for, I think, like 14 years, too. Mama D knows her.
Nice. Awesome. I'm excited. So stay excited. Connected with us.
Please do, and I look forward to the next show. Yes, please do. Like, share, subscribe, share it with your friends. Share it with people you think need to heal,
and on
too.
YouTube, hit the bell button. If you hit the bell button, you'll get notified when we're about to go live and when we're scheduled for shows.
Absolutely. So I thank you so much for coming this evening. And thank you, Callie, for coming. And
thank you. Good night, everyone.
See everybody later.